Hi guys, welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 5, Circumference and Area of a Circle. So we've talked about area of other shapes before, and maybe this is a review, okay, but circles are a little different because they just have that one continuous line around them, right, which we call the circumference, and that's this here, right, circumference, which is the distance around a circle. So if you were to outline it, the diameter is a straight line from one outside side of a circle to the other, passing through the center. I don't really like that definition, but that's what's given to you in your lesson. So, like from one point on the outside of a circle is really more than like saying one outside side. That's kind of a weird way to say it. Okay? And so, for this, it would be like the outline of a circle. For the diameter, it would be like that, a line going right through the center that connects both sides, I guess, of the circle. Radius is half of the diameter. So if we have a circle, it's from the center to the outside edge. So a straight line from the center of a circle to the outside side of the circle. And then we have pi. Pi is a numerical value with endless non-repeating decimal. So it's let's see, so 3.14159, right? So the relationship, and I'm sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. The relationship and how we find pi is we take the circumference of a circle and we divide it by the diameter. So that's what it's saying, the ratio of a circle's circumference to the diameter. Right now I have it written as a fraction, which is also a division problem. Okay, which is also a ratio, right? The comparison of two numbers. So it's the circumference divided by the diameter. That's how we find it. Okay, so for the formula for circumference, we have two different ways to write it. You can say either circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius, or since if you have two radii, you also have the diameter. So you could also write it as pi times the diameter. And then the area of a circle, right? So let's see, circumference, remember that's the outline. That would be like the perimeter of the circle. And an area, the space that a circle takes up, is equal to pi times the radius squared. So that would be like pi times radius. All right? So let's get into some examples. This first one is number 1 on your practice. It said, what is the approximate circumference of a circle that has a radius of 63? Use 3.14 for pi and express your answer to the hundredths place. So, it's approximate because if we're just using 3.14 for pi, right, that's an estimate. Pi goes on forever and ever and ever. We can't really use the exact thing, at least with the tools that we're given, okay? And we just don't have the time or the space to write the whole thing down, right? Because it goes on forever. So if we're looking for the circumference, remember that circumference is equal to, and let's see, we're given a radius of 63. So 2 times pi times the radius. So we can say 2 times 3.14 times 63. Okay? Now with multiplication like this, you can do it in any order. If you want to do 2 times 3.14 first, you can. If you want to do 2 times 63 first, you can. It doesn't matter. All right? So I'm going to use a calculator. I've got 2 times 3.14. That gives me 6.28 times 63 gives us 395 and 64 hundredths. Okay, and it says express your answer to the hundredths place. Well, it's already in the hundredths place, so I don't need to change anything. Okay, and we don't know whether these are centimeters or inches or anything like that. It's only going to ask for the number in there, but it is also a good habit to get in is putting the word units, being like, I'm not sure if these are inches or centimeters or whatever, but whatever the unit is, it's 395 and 64 hundredths of that. All right, number 2 comes from number 3 on your practice. A circle has an approximate circumference of 574 meters. What is the circle's diameter? To the 10th, use 3.14 for pi. Well, let's see here. We've got circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius, but we want to know the diameter. So I'm actually going to rewrite it as circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. Okay, because that's what I'm looking for. Might as well use that one, right? I'm given the 2 other pieces of information that we need. We're given the circumference, which is 574, so I can plug that in for C. And then pi, again, they said to use 3.14. Okay, and then that's being multiplied by the diameter. So, just like one-step equations, which we've been solving for quite a while, I can divide both sides by 3.14. They'll cancel on the right, and I'm left with just the diameter. And then 574 divided by 3.14 gives me that big long number, but it said to go to the 10th place. So I've got 182.8, and these were meters. Okay, so that would be my final answer for the diameter. Okay? Okay. With this one, number 3, this is number 4 on your quick check. Use the correct formula to find the area of a circle if the diameter is 21 miles. Round to the hundredths and use 3.14 for pi. So from the beginning of our lesson, we talked about the area is equal to pi times the radius squared. So the information that I'm given in the problem, though, is that the diameter is 21 miles, and I need to use 3.14. So I'm looking for the area, so that's my variable. Area is equal to, and then pi, we're using 3.14. Well, if my diameter is 21, that means that my radius is 10.5 or 10.5 because that's half of 21. So I'm going to do 10.5 squared. Now, according to the order of operations, I have to take care of those, well, first parentheses, which I don't really have. I'm only using parentheses right now to represent my multiplication. But I do have exponents. That will come next in the order of operations. So I can do 10.5 times 10.5. That's what it means to have 10.5 squared. And that gives me 110.25. And then I need to multiply that by 3.14, giving me 346 thousandths. It said to round to the hundredths place, though. Well, this is my hundredths place, so I need to look there, look to the right of it. Oh, it's 5 or higher, so this gets bumped up 1. So my final answer should be 346 1900ths, and it would be miles squared, okay? Anytime you're talking about area, your units should always be squared, okay? So, if you need extra help, let me know, but I certainly hope that gets you off to a good start. Have an awesome rest of your day.